What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of the Destiny Party podcast. I am your host, the Marvel snapping, Destiny playing, force wielding BMG, and I am joined by my friend and one of the co-hosts, Shadow Mall. Good evening, sir.
Howdy.
All good with you this evening?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, living the dream and all that.
Pretty much, yeah.
Good. And I, other co-host, Mazarus HD. How are you, sir? Maz?
You're muted.
Maz?
Yep, sorry, I just realized I was muted. Hello!
How are you this evening,
Every
mate?
time. I'll figure it out. I am grand, my friend. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Been a bit of a... I was running late, so it's my fault the show started late, because last minute things to do from coming in from work, but, we got there in the end and just a few minutes late, which will do. That'll do. You had a good day yourself, yeah?
Aye, grand, mate. Just had to be chilled day today.
Good. That's it. Good. Enjoying the bank holiday weekend. And our very special guest this evening, who is a very big Destiny player, which we will get into, back from the dead. How are you this evening, sir?
Doing great on my day off. Just been playing a lot of Redfall and getting into Guardian games a little bit.
Yes. I had a quick look at that before. Obviously, when I was just saying in the green room where I've started again. So, yeah, I need to get into it because I think they only run to the 23rd. I think 23rd of May they run to.
Yeah, there's a couple more weeks, and then what's it called? Season of the Deep will kick off.
That's it. Yeah. Well, I got funny enough when I jumped in because I'm not, it's the first day I've jumped in a week because I've been busy playing some other things. First greet with a message saying Titans won the first week and go and collect your rewards. I thought that's good, and then my second message saying Warlocks won, the games for 2023, and I thought, hang on a minute, it's only been running a week. How the hell's the Warlocks won already?
Yeah, I saw that as well.
Yeah, Bungie help party put on Twitter that, that was sent out as a mistake. Nobody has won yet. See how it plays out in a couple more weeks.
I was going to say, if Warlocks do win, it's going to look very, very sus, isn't it? It's not going to go down well. Oh,
well,
dear.
It would still go over. It wouldn't go over that badly because even though, we'll get into the topic about Lance Reddick and everything later, but Lance may portray a Titan in the game as a voice actor, but he played as a Warlock.
Did he? Oh, I thought he would have played Titan. I didn't know he played as Warlock.
No, he was a Warlock man.
Oh, wow. That's awesome to know. Yeah. God rest
fair
his
enough.
soul. It's still a shock that he is gone. And I know there's a lot of people working to hope Titans win, but we'll get into all that in a bit. But before we get into what we've been playing and all that, back from the dead, would you like to give us, bit of your history with Destiny, where you started, where you're at, things that you've done? Because you've done a lot, and you're part of probably one of the biggest groups that plays Destiny as well. I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I started playing Bungie games back when a friend of mine asked me to help him finish the last few missions of the game when the original Xbox came out, helping him finish up a few missions in Halo Combat Evolved. And that's what got me to go out and pick up an Xbox in the first place, after thinking, why is Microsoft making a console in the first place? They're a PC, PC software, and that's where you traditionally think of them sticking to. And like I said, after picking up Halo, that was my introduction to Bungie, and for years I played Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, and then coming around to Halo Reach, they started to hand it off to 343, and there was actually a rumor at the time that when Bungie split off from Microsoft, that they wanted to take Halo and put it on the PlayStation platform. And I was pretty ticked off at the idea of, well, you want to take away my favorite game. I'm not going to try out this new project that everyone's talking about, this new game you're making, Destiny. I'm not going to try it out. So a buddy of mine got me to pick up a 360 when he showed me Gears of War, and I was playing Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, and all the games on there. And after a while, he tells me, I know you're a huge Halo fan. You got to go try out Destiny. I'm like, no, they want to try to take away my Halo. And he's like, no, you really got to try it out. So I went to GameStop and picked up a used copy of it for $5 and popped it in. Yeah. And from the second you drop in, just like the new light quest starts off now, if you drop into the game, you drop into the Cosmodrome, Ghost says, oh, hey, we got to get inside. The Fallen are here. Okay, what's a Fallen? You pick up that gun. So you pick up your first gun, the Kavastov auto rifle, and the lights pop on and the Fallen are scrolling all around, and you're like, what is going on? And then you start to get into the world, and I got hooked immediately. And you start to meet all the enemy factions through the missions. You meet the Cabal, you meet the Hive, and I just immediately got sucked into the story. And for the longest time, I was just a casual player at that point. That I would run strikes, I would run the missions and everything, but I didn't know what a raid was at that point. So when I jumped into Crota's End solo, I was confused why it was so hard and why I couldn't do it by myself. And there was no matchmaking like Strikes had. So I'm like, why can't I do this? And it wouldn't be until I ran Destiny 1 entirely solo. I think I only played maybe a handful of missions with some friends. And that wouldn't have been until Rise of Iron that he picked up the game along with me. I think a little bit maybe in Taken King as well.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I was already hooked by that point. When Destiny 2 came out, I pre-ordered the deluxe version of it. Even show you this really quick.
Ooh, see some goodies. That's what we like.
Yeah,
to see.
I even picked up the collector's edition of the book.
Oh, nice.
And for a Titan main, it's a little bit disappointing when I didn't even think of this, but each one's kind of... See, this is the Warlock version. Each book had... Some of the books were... They had a Titan on the front, or they had a Hunter on the front. But yeah. So yeah, and it wasn't until... you go through the starting of the Destiny 2 campaign, and you talk to Hawthorne, she's like, oh, well... If you want to get rewards from me, you need to join a clan. I go, okay. Try creating one myself. And because there were a lot of established clans at the time, starting one by yourself is, is a pain in the butt, unless if you've got friends that are joining and you're all going together. So it was just me and one other guy I met running strikes and talking to people. And even at that point, I was pretty antisocial. I really didn't like playing with people, or especially from Call of Duty 360 days. If you remember those parties, you muted people because of the amount of language they were using. So the guy I jumped in with, he found another clan that was really active that had 100 people in it, or like near 100 people, and we both jumped in with them, and they started introducing me to raids and showing me, like, okay, this is how you get exotics, this is how you do this is how you level up your character. And after a while, I was an admin in that clan, and then they got to the point where they were like, well, we want you to do like all the maintenance of the clan, kick people out that are inactive, and then I kicked out something that the admins liked, apparently, that hadn't been active for a few months, and they were like, well, you're not equal to us, and that was a really big mistake, so you either need to leave or, don't talk to, like, admins in the clan.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, I'm not gonna sit here and be, like, tiptoeing around people on eggshells, so I left and tried to create my own clan again. I'm like, I'm not gonna tell anybody to leave with me, whatever, see you later. I try and be friendly with the people I used to play with in the last clan. That didn't work. But a lot of the active players followed me over to my own clan, and we started, because those were most of the guys I ran raids with and did strikes with and everything, and ran to the campaigns. So I probably ran, in that first year, I probably ran through the base campaign like maybe 15, 20, even 30 times maybe, just because there wasn't much to do. And I just enjoyed helping other people play through the game. So after a while, we had a really good clan going that I was leading. A couple of guys that I had made admins in my own clan. We would start going through Leviathan quite a bit, and we'd find more people just through LFG. It's like, hey, you don't have a clan. You seem like a really chill dude. Come join us, so you got people to play with. And then through meeting a friend of a friend of a friend, I was playing Sea of Thieves with one guy that introduced me to some more people that taught me how to play Monster Hunter World. And then playing with a couple of guys on that game, they were like, oh, you're into Destiny as well? And they were much more hardcore raid group than we ever were. Those were guys with the Last Wish, Ribbonsbane seal. A few of them had the Blacksmith seal, and they were just really, they had a ton of stuff. They were really good at the game, and we ran through a Scourge of the Past with them, and they said, why don't we just merge our two clans and we can, just kind of roll with each other, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was kind of hesitant to that for a while, but one of my admins was like, I really want to get into more raiding, and these guys seem to be really experienced. So we split off again, just joined with their clan from the one that I created. And that clan pushed me to the point where I had gotten like the Wayfarer seal. I had gotten a few others. I didn't have a raid seal until Shadowkeep, when I got, right after they took the flawless requirement off of the Enlightened seal, that I got that. And if you rerun it a little bit of time, so we went in. So this is the, kind of hard to see because the green screen. This is the Garden of Salvation raid jacket.
Oh wow!
That we were able to finish that. We tried to go for Crown of Sorrows.
Yeah.
But every time we got that boss down to a third of his health, there was a glitch at the time in Crown of Sorrows when it first came out the first week. The crystals would glitch and go immune, and it just wiped the entire team. And this happened time after time after time. And the final time it happened, on the last night we could try and go for that jacket, it glitched the crystals and then DC'd one of the admins that was playing with us. And he's like, yeah, I just got dashboard and the whole thing crashed. And he's like, I'm done. We've been doing this for way too many hours. Not going to happen. We come back in Shadowkeep, and they moved the date from September to October. So those of us who had taken off vacation were like, well, we can't just, a few of us couldn't just move our vacation a month out to the new date. We're like, okay, well, we're going to try to give it our best shot. see what happens. And me and a guy, Flop, they were really good friends. I still have his cell phone number, and we still talk all the time from my last clan. We would stay up till 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. in the morning because of how power leveling was a little bit easier in Shadowkeep, but it wasn't really that great. You still had to grind quite a bit to get to max power, trying to get into the raid within the first week. So it was so funny because a handful of our guys, including the admin in that clan, he was over in the UK. So we would stay up until 2 to 4 a.m., get like 2 to 4 hours of sleep, and then go to work. Well, when we're getting off to go to sleep for the night, he's getting up and he's laughing. He's like, oh, we're just swapping spots, going through our grind to try and get ready for the raid. So we get into the Garden of Salvation raid, and we get through the first 3 encounters pretty easily within the first couple of nights because we're just playing a handful of hours each night. We're not trying to do contests or anything crazy, just trying to get the jacket that you just had to complete the raid within the first 10 days. And when we finally got to the boss, they had spent probably about 30 hours continuously failing on the boss, where they could get his health bar down so much, and then like motes would glitch to the floor. You'd have goblins would kneel underneath the floor and integrate to the spires, which you would need to get more motes, and if you weren't running fast enough, it would just wipe you.
Yeah.
There was just a ton of stuff wrong with that raid when it launched, and the final day that we were supposed to go in and give it our best shot, the founder of the clan comes back on and he's like, I talked to a streamer friend of mine. He's on console, so we don't have to worry about if his recommendation is like based on PC recommendations, because more so at that time, the whole difference between you can't take too many recommendations from PC people in Destiny if you play on console, because PC people are like, oh, you can use the submachine gun anywhere. Console people are like, are you sure? The recoil sends it to the ceiling. It's like, no, you can't. So I was actually using a Crude Redemption, the bow from that raid, because they had also nerfed the breakneck auto rifle at the time. I'm like, this thing's shooting staples, ain't killing anything. And my admin was cracking up laughing at me. He's like, you're never going to be able to act clear. I'm like, watch. And I was knocking down all the ads in one shot. I'm like, if you just hit him in the chest once, I'll go down. It's fine. He's like, okay. So my admin finds this guy that's a console player, and he's streaming on Twitch, and he tells him, he's like, so how you guys doing that boss fight? And he explains, he's like, well, your first mistake is you're going into both portals. And he's like, what? He's like, oh, no. It causes so many issues when you use both portals at the same time. The boss takes 2 plates at the same time. So you want to do one at a time. And he's like, are you kidding me? He's like, I've already cleared it 20 times. So if you're telling me the caliber of what your team is, you're being honest about that, you guys should be able to do it in like an hour. We come back that night after he tells us how the streamer described how to do it. We're so burnt out because, like I said, we didn't have time off and we were grinding so much. 2 of us only had about maybe 8-10 hours of sleep within the first week of grinding. So, yeah, night after night, like just being sleep deprived, we were like, okay, by the 8th night, we got to crash. And then on top of that, now we're going into a boss fight that we've done for 6 days in a row. And we're down to the final night to try and earn this raid jacket. And he's like, well, let's just try it out his way. Let's see how it goes. We finally get down to the boss's health segment. All the plates on the floor are gone. You got most of the team is hopping in is hopping on the Vex milk, trying, like, he got 6 guys trying to link the chain, and I'm standing off to the side freaking out because I dunked the last bit of motes, and I'm like, don't interrupt the tether, don't interrupt the tether, don't interrupt the tether. The second I heard it ping, I rushed over, and I jumped in the air, rushed over, slammed the weld down on the clan founder's head, and we saw the last bit of his health bar go down, and everybody goes nuts, screaming and swearing. We're so excited, and my wife's in the kitchen. She looks over at me, and she says on the phone, she's like, the person must ask, what the hell's going on over there? She's like, I think he just beat the raid.
Managed it finally.
Finally managed it, and we probably didn't raid for another week because we were just so burnt at that point. And I mean, that's one of the reasons why I love that moment in raids. Now that I finished every single one since then. In the first week, to me, it's more exciting to see other people get that moment where they can, and now I can actually teach people how to do raids because I've done them all so many times. You can see other people's enjoyment. They're coming in. How can I help you kind of get to where I'm at so that, you don't have to jump in here and, like, there's so much stuff in Destiny to do that either you get burnt out or you get discouraged. You just can't find your way in the game. So that same clan that went through Garden with me, also we come to Beyond Light, and this one will be a little bit harder to get into the screen. See, because this is the parka that you can get from Deepstone Crypt. I bought this one because I'm like, that is a really cool raid jacket.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's a very nice jacket.
Because I was like, this is actually a winter coat that's really cool. Even the lining of this is actually a vest you can pull out, and you can see the see if I can get that.
Oh, nice.
Like the Deepstone Crypt raid symbol in the center of this vest, that this whole teal lining actually comes out.
It's a very nice jacket. Very nice. They don't skimp on anything, Bungie, do they?
Oh, no. No, I've actually used that jacket to go outside and shovel snow in the wintertime, and it is definitely warm enough to do that, even if it's only like 10, 20 degrees outside.
Yeah. Nice.
But yeah, so when I was worried about finishing that raid. We tried to go into it day one. Like a lot of teams, my team got stuck at Atrax, that we couldn't get past him in the second encounter. And then I was off until Thursday that week when Beyond Light and Deepstone Crypt came out. I come back. I'm like, okay, how hard is this raid going to be to do? And the guys in my clan come back and they're like, we've already beat it 4 times. I'm like, oh, so it's okay. So this is not a crown situation. This is not a garden situation. This will be just fine. They took me through a burn through the raid in like 45 minutes to an hour, and we were already done. And because a lot of those guys in that clan they started playing a lot earlier than I did. They were getting into raids. I was usually the guy that would come home, and I was such a solid raider that if one person was kind of the weak link, they'd be like, okay, sit down, pull them in, and then it'd take maybe 1 to 3 tries, and I could help them beat the boss in a raid. So I really wasn't getting into much activities, and there was some I was having some issues with some of my other clanmates, which yeah, I was like, okay. And I got really frustrated, and one of the guys in there was like, maybe it's, you need to look for another clan kind of a thing. I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. So I left that clan, and I wasn't in one for a couple of weeks. And then I was listening to the Flamish Experience. Flamish has a podcast on Sundays.
Yeah.
I was listening to him, and he had Lord Cognito from the Iron Lords podcast on that time.
Yeah.
And Flamish was talking about it, and he's like, well, I kind of want to get into Destiny. And Cog's like, well, yeah, I'll add you to my clan. I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of looking for one too. I wasn't thinking he was going to ask me to join. But he's like, yeah, just send me your Bungie ID, we'll get you in. I'm like, okay. So I'd actually known one of the guys from his clan from when I did, his name's Pixels and Polygons.
Yeah.
I had done a Prestige Leviathan with him a long time ago for the last achievement I needed for Destiny 2. And I played with him, and Cybernox is another YouTuber, and Cotton is another guy, or Colin McRae. He goes by a few different names, another content creator.
Yeah.
But yeah, that we were all friends and even had fun. We went through some of the, before Halo Infinite came out, we went back and went through some of those games on legendary difficulty. A lot more fun trying to do that with friends than trying to do it solo, for sure. But yeah, so I had known Pixels from when we went through that to get the last achievement that all of us needed. And he's like, man, I don't really play with anyone, and I'm like, oh, I really want to, basically do with the same thing I was doing with my last clan. It's like, let's get into raids. Let's try to, come up with a team. So I started out just anytime I was on at night, the two of us were hanging out playing Destiny, and to start going on the clan roster, invite every single person, see who joins.
Yeah.
And that's how we got Stitch. Let's see, who else was it? Stitch, Liz, and a few other guys. We'd usually filter in and out. We all started hanging out and raiding together. And before that, I even kind of realized, oh, these guys don't have a lot of the exotics. Oh, let's go through Pit of Heresy. Let's get you Xenophage. Let's go through, the Beyond Light campaign. Let's get you the Lament. Let's go through all these different activities so you can get geared up. This will be a lot easier, the more we're playing and raiding together.
Yeah.
And we had so much fun with that we started going through Deepstone Crypt so many times that we had all gotten the Descendant seal. And it was probably around one of that time that Lord Cognito made me a admin in the Iron Lords podcast clan. And like, this guy's like the raid teacher for the clan. And it's like, I wasn't even saying that, it was other people saying that pretty much about me. I'm like, well, I just kind of became the raid teacher because it's like, I didn't have people to raid with, it's like, it just kind of worked out that way. Then, I was just trying to have fun playing with guys, take them through raiding, so they didn't just drop off the game and you don't have anybody to play with at that point. So, but yeah, and that's kind of where I'm sitting right now. We've also been through. See there. So this one I actually did not finish in the first 3 days, but this is the Vault of Glass raid ring.
Oh wow, that is awesome.
Kind of hard to see on the inside. But if you know the saying from Vault of Glass, guardians make their own fate, is actually inscribed on the inside of the ring. But yeah, and then after a while, we also had a couple of really good players, Ducky and Buddha are a couple good guys from my clan. They're really good at raiding and running endgame activities. And also Forkbow Gaming. He had joined around that time when they had reintroduced the King's Fall raid.
Yeah.
And we actually cleared that in under 48 hours, and that's the King's Fall raid ring that they made when they brought the raid back.
Ring.
Yeah.
Oh.
That ring's dope.
That one's really cool. It's Oryx's head is the front of the ring.
Nice.
And then yeah, on the inside of it, it's inscribed "Long Live the King." So yeah, that's a few of the cool things that I've gotten. I was kind of happy that they put out rings like that because, like, I decided, even though I had beaten the raid in time to get it, I didn't get the I didn't get the Violet Disciple jacket or the Fog Raid jacket because I thought they were a little bit too plain. And then I really wanted to get the Root of Nightmares jacket, but I decided against that because I'm like, well, I've already got two, and I don't really need a third one that sits in the closet most of the time.
That's fair.
But yeah, I mean, at this point, I've actually, because Lightfall's been kind of slow and, more people haven't been active as much, I've actually had a lot of fun hanging out in different Discords from different Destiny streamers and met a lot of really cool people. I guess one of the oddest things is a lot of these people that I've been hanging out with and teaching, because they're newer to Destiny, is I'm only 34 and they're like anywhere from 6 years or more younger than me. I'm like, how did I become the old dude in the room?
So what do you run as? What's your main and what Guardian rank here?
So I actually bought this a while ago. Let's see, see if you can guess my main from the sweatshirt I got off of Bungie.
Titan.
That's it. Yeah.
Nice.
Really nice. They even put that little detail on there. The ghost is actually on the zipper. So yeah.
Oh, but nice.
Yeah, I actually started out in Destiny 1 as a hunter main.
Yeah.
I didn't, because I was new to looter shooters, new to any game like this. I mean, the closest kind of game I probably would have played to this with like loot and everything might have been like Skies of Arcadia, because that's a JRPG and you kind of have the same like loot systems to different classes of weapons and skills to use, but this was the first looter shooter that I actually got into. And it wasn't until much later that, with how much I love the genre, I start getting into like Borderlands and, unfortunately, Anthem, Division. But yeah, so I started out, I didn't understand there was a difference between the three classes. So yeah, I thought, well, Hunter looks very cool. Start out with that. And then I think in Taken King, I created a Titan. And then in Rise of Iron, I created a Warlock. And then going into D2, it didn't feel like the hunter felt really squishy, still does. So I can't remember when I exactly shifted over, but shifted over to being a Titan, and the Titan in D2, even because you can still go back, and I actually have gone back and played Destiny 1 a bit when there's downtimes in the game. The Titan gained a lot more speed in the second game. Just if you go back and play as a Titan in D1, they're slow as molasses, which is probably why I didn't like playing as them before. But yeah, after a while, I started getting into playing Titan more, and then the clan that took me through Garden of Salvation and in Deepstone Crypt the first time, one of the guys showed me in Season of Opulence, because I had played a lot and I've been through a lot of raids, but I wasn't so good at making builds. And he said, "Well, you got Doomfang pauldrons." I'm like, "Well, yeah, I've got them." It's like, okay, throw those on, throw on a void subclass, and make sure it's the bottom tree for throwing 2 shields. And I'm like, okay, let's go into Menagerie. I'm going to show you why this works. And he starts throwing shields and knocking down rows of enemies. I'm like, and he keeps just throwing them and throwing them, throwing them. I'm like, how the heck are you doing that? You're only supposed to get 2 throws. He's like, oh, that's how fast it recharges if you can hit enough enemies with it. Just keep throwing them for days.
He's a good. I like that shield throw. That's quite cool. Captain America vibes.
Yeah, unfortunately, they've kind of nerfed that build after a while, so it won't come back immediately like that. But yeah, I mean, and then I started getting into like how do you do builds, how you pair them with exotics, and then getting into what was that? Season of the Haunted. They had Class C Restoration, really got hooked to Solar 3.0. And I had Lorelei Splendor, the helmet, completely busted. And it wasn't until I didn't use it that much in Witch Queen when I had gotten it. But one of the guys from my clan, Ducky, showed me, he's like, throw on that helmet, put like these fragments and whatnot on, and now we're going to go into activity, and I want you to just let the enemies beat the crap out of you. It's like, okay. And you can't do this as much now because they nerfed it. Just like everything. They're always trying to rebalance the game, but we went into the Master Duality Dungeon, and you can basically you used to be able to just let the ads just wail on you and watch your health bar go down a little bit, and then whoop, right back. And then you'd only see your health bar just like tick a little bit until the restoration was completely gone. It's like, yeah, we understand why you rebalance that, because it was that busted. And if you're trying to get people, you don't want to get stuck to just one build, which even now it's a little bit hard to get away from Solar. But that'll probably change next season because I've got a build for the double firebolt grenades with Syntheseps that's really good. That almost takes a little bit more. You have to play really aggressively with the mini throwing hammer and chucking the grenades. But it almost works as good as Lorelei and Class C Restoration used to work.
Ah, nice.
But yeah, and then they also added a while back when they added Thunder Crash to Titans, and we figured out we finally have a one-shot super that can do raid DPS. So a lot of raid teams I was on were like, well, you need a Warlock for you need Hunters for Golden Guns, and Titans basically sit out until you've got Weapons of Light with Void Titans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you can just sit on the bench because you can't really do anything else. And we don't really need ad clearing because all the other classes can do that anyways.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really nice when they put that out, and then getting into Arc 3.0 and messing around with chain effects and the storm grenade being the only thing everyone used for a while there.
Mm-hmm.
Ton of fun with that. But yeah, especially when you're going into either Follow the Disciple or mostly was Follow the Disciple with Rolk at the end there. And when I did my arc run to get that done on that seal, you see 6 Thunder Crash Titans just go smash into the boss. Even funnier to see on A-Tracks with how bad that encounter used to be. The last time I did it, we had three Thunder Crash Titans, but all 6 people had the Parasite grenade launcher.
Oh, okay.
And we shot the Parasite grenade launcher at A-Tracks, and his health just went right down to final stand. And before the guy that was used the scanner buff, before he even said anything, he's just like, I wonder if this will work. And that's the last thing we hear before he kicks off his Thunder Crash, and he smashes the one guy that must have been lit up and it ends the encounter. I'm like, we used to remember this encounter being a lot harder than it is now.
Good old Destiny. That's it. Yeah, it's it's good to get some of your history and what you're currently doing with Destiny, and it's nice to see another Titan. As I sort of said in the green room, I've started again. I just don't know what it is. I don't like choice, so get rid of one character to start another. I had the silver already to get the, so it was Lightfall was already done, so I'll be, soft cap levels. I can catch up rather quickly, so I'll be jumping into that over the next few days just to get my light level back up where I was, because I think I was 18-14, I think, with the Warlock.
You was one above me. I was an 18-14, you're an 18-15.
Ah, right, 18-15. But yeah, I'm looking forward to jumping back in. Right, we've only got a couple of topics. Because we sort of said we'd do this show fortnightly, but it seems there was a bit of news and that. I thought, spoke to the co-hosts, and they were happy to do a show tonight, and obviously you were happy to join us back, which is awesome. It's awesome to have you on. We love talking Destiny and how it brings people together. Me and Shadow joined Mazarus's clan just by pure chance. We were just playing, messing about, and he ended up joining us to start a bit of the Lightfall campaign, and it just went from there. So it's just amazing what Destiny does and the people it brings together. Right, let's get on with these topics then. Destiny 2 players on a late actor Lance Riddick during Guardian Games event. This is from Zuhair Ali over at the Game Post. Destiny 2 players are coming together to honour the late actor Lance Riddick during the Guardian Games. Riddick, who voiced Titan Vanguard Commander Zavala in the game, tragically passed away in March 2023. In remembrance of his contribution to the game, many players are choosing to play as the Titan class during this year's Guardian Games event, which is currently live in Destiny 2 until 23rd of May this year, obviously. The Guardian Games event is an annual in-game competition that allows players to represent their respective classes and compete against each other. The 3 classes in Destiny, Warlock, Hunter, and Titan, with each having its own unique abilities and playstyles. However, this year's Guardians Games event has taken on a special significance for many players that want to pay tribute to Lance Riddick. So, how's everyone finding the Guardian Games, and how do you feel about people rooting for the Titans to win? Shadow, I'll come to you first, my friend. What do you think? How are you doing in the Guardian Games, and what do you think?
Well, I mean, I'm been grinding out non-stop every day, except for the last 2 days because I've been playing Jedi Survivor. But
Nice.
yeah, I've been really trying to grind it out. I'm finding now that it doesn't matter which tower I go into now. That it's always saying to me that I'm best in tower. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, at first, it's when we saw the Titan banner was just so high up there, we was wondering why they was so high up, and obviously now we know that it's to do with Lance Riddick. Yeah, it does seem a little unfair to the other classes that are trying to win, but I can understand people's motives with it, but even still, it's still not fair for the other classes that are actually grinding out.
Yeah,
like myself, I'm constantly grinding and just trying to get it up, but obviously one person doing that isn't going to be enough with potentially thousands of people or even tens of thousands of people just doing one class. So I definitely think that in a way, I think they need to balance it a bit better.
Well, according to Bungie, Warlocks have already won. we're only in the first week.
Just because I'm so awesome. It's because I'm so awesome, BMG. I feel like I'm the only one doing it.
That's it. Maz, what about yourself? How are you finding the Guardian games, and what do you think of this tribute from players to try and win it for the Titans this year in his honour?
Well, it's a good. Yeah. I'm here, don't worry.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good tribute to him. He is, well, one of a lot of people's favourite actors. He's obviously been Sabala from the beginning, had a huge part in the game from the very beginning. And it's good to see a community actually pulled together and do that type of thing. Like actually the same class. Even people that weren't, I know people that are hunters only that have built a Titan and they're playing Titan just to honour him. So it's good to see a community actually do that. And I understand Maul about how it's unfair for some classes, but it'll level itself out eventually. It's in first week as a Titan, and then after that it'll probably steady itself out to all their classes being quite equal. I'm finding it pretty good. I only play Crucible really, so I'm loving the Supremacy mode. It came in Destiny 1 Supremacy mode, the Rise of Iron DLC.
Yeah.
Well, it became very popular, the Rise of Iron DLC. And I loved it ever since then. I love how they keep bringing it back for big major events because it is a favorite event. So I'm one of the people that are enjoying it a lot.
Yeah. How do you find the tower? Because it's really proper. Seems to go really out for it, haven't they? It's very decorative this year. How do you find that?
Oh yeah, it's visually appealing so much. It's so nice. You see all the classes rocking their own custom armor this season. They're all bright colors, so it's just mostly bright colors everywhere. Especially with the emotes, people run around with that LNG emote shooting in the air, doing the Beyonce dance. The whole thing is brilliant.
I'd noticed, and I'm probably going to pick it up today or tomorrow. They've got the Gladiator one. Remember when they get the big poles and they bash each other with the foam stick things. That looks quite a cool emote. It's a shame it's like 1,200 silver.
That was fun. It was so fun.
Oh, the things these cost.
Yeah.
Back from the dead, what about yourself? How are you doing and finding the Guardian games? And obviously you'll be quite a big fan of this tribute, being a Titan yourself, Lance Riddick.
Yeah, absolutely. That was really rough, especially with how the story went this season. It didn't help. We just gotten the news about Lance passing, and then I'm assuming at this point everybody's played the game, played through the seasonal story. We're not worried about spoiling anything because we're at the end of the season. So yeah, we get to find out that Lance had just they had just passed, and then I'm listening to Bontas, one of my favorite Twitch streamers, and he's playing through the mission for that week, and he's going through the person, and Amanda's like, okay, no, I got this. Everybody, you can get out. You get out. I got it. And the next year, here's boom. And then I'm at work. I'm listening to the stream through my Bluetooth. So I'm like, oh, don't tell me. And he wants us like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. And it flashes to the next scene, and it's at her funeral. And it's like, what? Okay, I understand that you have to plan this stuff out. You got to plan out months in advance. But wow, this has got to be the worst timing to put that into the story. That we're seeing Lance's, the character Commander Zavala with his head in a casket, and the character, the actor that voices him has just passed away. It's like, this is, and I even messaged Cog in the DMs after he had played it. I'm like, this has just got to be the worst timing they've ever had.
Definitely agree. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But it was also fantastic to see the community come together. You saw tons of pictures on Twitter. People were standing out and holding vigils all around Commander Zavala in the tower. And you even saw there were some people from the Halo community said, I saw somebody's message said, we'll hold the line when you guys can grieve.
Yeah.
And it just hit a lot different with Lance, because you would see him out there on Twitter. If somebody sent him, hey, can you read this in Commander Zavala's voice? So he'd do the famous reading, from the line from Destiny 1, the Destiny 1 strike that he would do. Whether you want it or not, we've entered a war with Cabal, and like almost every Destiny player knows that whole speech. And even to the point that people would do fan made up speeches from Zavala. And somebody had an awesome one. If you can go find it, you probably go find it on YouTube, or maybe find it on Twitter. It's a really cool one from back when can't remember what season that was, when Keitel basically shows up to Earth and she's like, okay, well, we need to join forces, but you're going to bow to me. So somebody basically wrote up this long speech for Commander Zavala, basically to tell Keitel in that season to screw off. And Lance is this cool guy that he gets stuff like that to come in, and he would go on Twitter and he'd do like a little short video they post, and he read stuff that he was sent by fans. I mean, this guy also was playing Destiny, just like we do. He wasn't just a voice actor, and he was so involved in the community that it just hits a lot different. And then, like I said, just a seasonal story did not help the timing of everything. So it is cool that people, I think, are still continuing in his memory to try and get the Titans to win this year, since Commander Zavala is the leader of all the Titans, which you kind of got that a little bit more in D1 than D2, because in Destiny 1 you used to have to interact solely with your specific, like the Titan Vanguard, if you were a Titan main. Where in Destiny 2, you interact with the entire Vanguard. Well, until Cade was killed in Forsaken, then now you just have Zavala and Ikora left.
That's it, yeah.
But yeah, so that definitely hits a bit different. It's cool that people have found a bunch of different ways to honor his memory. As far as the Guardian games themselves, I think we got a great weapon this season. For the new Strand Scout Rifle is a lot of fun. The original roll that I got was Zen Moment and either Kill Clip or Explosive Payload. For some reason, I thought that was a static roll that everybody got, and then talked to one of my friends. He's like, "Oh no! Not everybody got that. Some of us got crap rolls first time." I'm like, okay, well, I got lucky. I got, and the more you play, the more rolls you can get on the scout rifle, and I already had a good title submachine gun, so I mean, getting more to see if I can get a better one this time around.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's nice when you can get little bits of loot. And the one thing I actually enjoyed that I tried out today was the Guardian Games version of Supremacy is actually, it only matches you with your class. So it's so funny to see going in there as a Titan and you're fighting a whole team of Warlocks. You're fighting a whole team of Hunters. So it's like, yeah, the Titans beat down the other classes. So yeah, that's a lot of fun. As far as the look for the tower, that's actually the same as it was last year. They had updated it maybe a year or two ago. Because
they did, yeah.
Yeah, because that went along with the joke at the time. A year ago, people were saying the Destiny 2 players don't touch grass. So they had that grass emote, and then it's like, well, there's grass in the tower now, so you gotta touch grass.
That's it. I got that emote. I got it on Bright Dust when it landed on there. I thought, yeah, I've got to have that. Because normally I put that down, and when like a few of us are playing, we all end up just sitting on the grass, and Shadow sits in his chair with his spinning skull in his hand. It's always good fun.
I don't do that anymore.
Good fun. Oh, do you know? You changed it?
No, I float now.
You float instead. Yeah. Oh, good. Right, obviously we're getting a bit short on time, so what we'll do is I've just got two more bits of news: the raising of the price, and this week at Bungie, and then we will call it a night, guys. But yeah, I just want to thank everyone that has joined us in chat this evening. Let me have a quick go through. Let me scroll up here. Thank you, Muppet. Thank you, Finbear. Thank you, Darren Sensei. Good to see you, my friend. Blondie. Thank you for joining us. Darth Praxis, thank you for joining. Sorry, my playing up a bit there. Sorry if I've missed anyone else, but thank you very much for joining us. It does mean a lot to us. This is a Destiny Party podcast. It's part of the XPN network where we have a membership where you can join for just 99p. That gives you exclusive content, videos, gameplay, polls you can vote on things you want to see, and it also helps us create more content for everyone. But yeah, feel free to check it out. Check us over at the YouTube channel XPN Network, where there's multiple reviews going up daily, member videos, and you get some fancy emotes. I think Ash says we're a couple of subs off from getting these other new emotes of all our faces or something, but we'll see how that goes. Right, let's move on. Bungie is raising Destiny 2 season pass prices. This comes from Tom Ivan over at VGC. Bungie has announced plans to raise Destiny 2 season pass prices later this month. Starting with Season 21, Season of the Deep, the price of the standard season pass will increase from 1,000 silver to 1,200 silver. At the new price, players will have to buy 2 silver bundles to purchase the season pass, whereas before they would only need 1. 500 silver costs $4.99 or £4.79. 110 silver costs $9.99 or £8.49. The cost of the season pass plus 10 ranks bundle will also rise from 2,000 silver to 2,200. Quote, as our teams continue to invest in crafting compelling seasonal experiences for the Year of Lightfall, there's a heads up we wanted to give regarding a small increase in the standalone season pass price, beginning with Season of the Deep, Bungie said in its blog. This will be the new pricings for season passes Lightfall's year for those looking to maximize their rewards with each new season, and we will be evaluating new approaches to post-launch content in the year of the final shape. Pricing will remain unchanged for the Lightfall Standard Edition, which includes access to the current live season at the time of purchase, and Lightfall Plus Annual Pass Edition, which includes access to seasons 20 to 23. Bungie also used the blog to provide the first look at the Season of the Deep in the form of key art, which, if you go to the article, you can see above, and to offer details on 3 new Strand aspects, changes to in-game economy, and quality of life updates headed to the game, which we will be reading in this week at Bungie shortly. So, Bungie raising prices. Is this something that was always going to happen? Are we happy with this price increase? Are we going to get more for this cost? Because obviously you have now had to buy 2 silver bundles, which obviously is going to cost you more than the season pass anyway. Personally, I expected it at some point because, inflation, the cost of living and everything else, things go up, and the fact that they're keeping the price of the games at the same price, which is good. Would I be happy with a price increase? No, but if they were going to offer more with the price increase, that would probably alleviate some players' concerns, because obviously they said they're going to continue evaluating it. So does that mean come next year we're looking at more increases to the season pass? And when do we get to the point where it no longer becomes worth purchasing if we're not getting any more for what we're paying? Maz, I'll come to you first, sir. What do you think? Maz, you're on mute. Yes. Are you there, Maz? All right, well, look. Are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear it? Yes, we can hear you. Did you catch what I said?
Yeah. I caught what you said. I did know that there's going to be an increase at some point. And I knew it was coming very, very soon. And what they've said, I hope that they stick to that, where it's going to be beneficial to everyone. They're going to give us more for what we pay for. I'm hoping to do that, but we won't know until it actually comes. You know what I mean? When it gets to the point where the new season passes come or new DLCs come, and see what our money's actually giving us, type of thing. Not very happy with it, but as you say, cost of living, everything else, it's understandable. It's like any other business would go down that route of increasing the prices.
What would you like to see as as an added incentive with the price increase? What would make it worth it to you? Obviously, having to buy 2 silver bundles instead of just 1 now. What would you like to see added to that to make it worth the price increase?
Probably more items for your characters, because currently there's quite a few things you can get in your season passes and stuff like that. But even because once you complete your season pass, it's pretty much just an extra engram every so many levels. What you get, maybe they add like an extra tier system to the end of the battle pass. So every 10 levels, you can unlock a custom new emote or more shaders, but very good looking shaders, more ghosts, stuff like that. They could add to the battle pass. Or the season pass, as you call it. Excellent for people.
Yeah, that's it. Shadow, what do you think? Obviously, the price increase is not good really for everyone. Well, nobody wants to see it. How do you feel about it, and what would you want to see to make it worth it for you?
I mean, I expected the price increase. It was bound to happen. I mean, I said this many moons ago that it was going to happen at some point. But it is what it is. If obviously because they're increasing the price of the pass, I think they should also increase the amount that you get from the silver packs, or maybe change them about a little bit, because we don't want another repeat of GTA, with what Rockstar did with their microtransactions, where you know. But I mean, what I want from it, I mean, yeah, I mean, more items, not necessary. Maybe more emotes, more maybe but even weapons, you know, from it. You know, maybe putting them instead of just as a standard, you know, legendary with a branded roll on it, maybe put it as quite a high chance of a roll, like a god tier roll out of it. Yeah, some shaders, you know, just adding more to it rather than rather than what it currently is, where it's like you get maybe a couple of exotic engrams out of it, and you know, yeah, they definitely need to massively overhaul it.
Because that's what they're talking about, aren't they? There's making some changes that we're going to see for next season. But I would always thought because now they're owned by PlayStation, Sony PlayStation, it's, you know, I could understand more if they were still independent, the cost of everything, wages, everything else. But I wasn't expecting a change now under PlayStation banner because they've got that more security. They don't need to, but
the other thing that would be interesting, like I would probably say they should put in, is the strand meditations, because they are so awkward to get hold of. There's so little of them. Maybe put like 100 meditations every 20 levels, 30 levels, something like that. You know, because then you're not getting loads of it really quickly. But
you get it over so many levels, yeah. That's a good idea. Is that Back from the Dead? What about yourself? How do you feel about the price increase? Do you think it's worth the increase, or would you like to see something of a bit more incentive that would make it worth it to you?
Well, making the game more stable would sure help, but I mean, there are definitely a lot of issues. I mean, you can go look at the TWAB for yourself and see the list of different bugs that they're trying to squish right now. At the same time, I mean, you just saw Microsoft increase its games to the $70 price. You've got Bungie's been hiring a ton of people recently over the last year, including they've been having to go in a few different court battles that definitely aren't cheap. I mean, they won in those court battles, still, still an added expense into the whole venture. And they're trying to increase a lot of different things in their company at this point, but at the same time, like I said, the quality of the game doesn't seem to have gone up. And I don't really see, considering that what we've seen from the move from $60 to $70, the quality of games has not increased. And we're not really getting any more in games. That's just the price, like you said, cost of living, cost of doing business. That's just the price of everything going up at this point. So no, I'm not happy about it. But at the same point, you can still, like they said, the price of Lightfall itself is not increasing, and the price of the version with Beyond Light and the annual pass isn't increasing, if I remember what you read correctly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're really concerned about it, typically the price, not the price, the Lightfall and the annual pass will usually go on sale like a month or every 2 months. I've already seen it go on sale like maybe 2 or 3 times, and it hasn't even been out that. We're only talking a few months for the first season. It's already been on sale.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you want to wait, it's like if you want to wait until that goes on sale. If you already picked up on sale, this isn't really an issue to you. It's just going forward. It's only an issue for people that haven't bought the annual pass or paid for the season or somehow paid for the next season already, where the only irritating issue with it is if you buy if you buy $10 worth of silver, it only gets you 1,100.
Yeah.
They increased it to 1,200, so you can, unless they make it that you can like outright buy the season from, say, from like the Microsoft Store, from Steam, or from the PlayStation Store, you're gonna have to spend $15 or how much that is in your currency.
They're about the same. Yeah,
about the same. You're gonna have to buy 1,000 silver that you get 100 silver bonus within that, so you're only getting 1,100, and then you gotta go on top of that and buy 500 silver, and now you've got 300 left over. There's no way to directly purchase that unless they put that directly in the store. That's the only way I'd see that it wouldn't be really annoying, because even on my account, I'm almost positive I've got like 300 silver. Yeah, 300 silver. Because I bought one of the packs that you can get.
Well, I think if I think
no, just loading my camera.
You're back.
Okay, that was weird. But yeah, you can usually get a pack in whatever store, wherever you're playing on, that'll come with an emote like the Atheon's Throne emote, and it'll come with 1,700 silver for $15. Usually one of those emotes costs you $5 to $10 anyways. So, and then on top of that, you're getting the silver for a year. So kind of just look out for sales like that, I guess. Will make it a little bit easier for you just to have the silver on hand if you're planning on buying that way, or just look for the Lightfall and the annual. If you haven't even jumped in yet, Lightfall and the annual pass to be on sale.
Yeah,
I mean, there's ways to subside how it is, but yeah, the worst possible way to go about it is paying $15 when there, like I said, there's a few packs you can get like an emote and silver along with it. So it kind of takes the edge off a little bit there, and then there's cheap items in the Everywhere store you can use on the last like 300 silver or whatever you got.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Or even if they offer, because obviously, at the moment the lowest you can have is 500 silver off the store. Even if they offered like a 100 or a 200 option to, so you're not overspending, because that's the idea. That you're buying more than you need, and then
you're paying $15 for a $10 item.
Yeah, exactly. So there's ways they could do it, but whether they do or not, we'll have to see. I'd also love if they sort of did some like Fortnite does. I don't play Fortnite, but I've got friends that do, where you can pretty much earn the currency in game, so you never have to actually buy a season pass. If they could offer an option like that, or I know they're never going to, because they want you to spend the money.
No, you got Bright Dust that subsides the idea. You pay for silver if you don't want to wait to rack up the amount of Bright Dust and to be put into the Everywhere store for Bright Dust. So they've already got something in there that subsides that. And silver you can only buy in 500, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Each time you keep going up in numbers, they add another bonus to it on top of that.
Yeah, it's nice to do that. It's a nice little extra. You're getting a bit extra. The more you get, the more free you get, which is good. But we'll just have to see. And I'd say if people aren't happy with it, vote with your wallet. That's what we say. Don't buy it, don't get it. But it's the only way you're gonna kind of voice your opinion with actions is by not buying the season pass. And you never know, they can walk it back, they can make changes, but time will tell, and we'll see what happens. As we did off the first episode, we end the show with the this week at Bungie, and our good friend Shadow Mall loves to read that. So I'll hand it over to you to what's happening this week at Bungie.
All right, so this week at Bungie is about the season 21 tuning. So this isn't actually for this week, technically. So some of the fragments are having their slots changed from 1 slot to 2 slot. So watch out for that one. All supers are getting a increase to the PvE resistance by 20%. So you take less damage.
Oh, okay, that's good. That's a good move because, especially with like Titan, we use the what's the like the Superman punch one called Thunder something, the Thunder punch one where you fly through crash. Is it Thunder Crash?
Yes,
that's it. Once you kind of hit, you do your special. If there's anyone left around, because it just takes that couple of seconds before you move, and if there's any enemies about, you're just getting the hell shot out here. So that's good. Is that I like
that? We are also getting a subclass 3.0 for season 21. And within that, the hunters will get a increase to the PvE damage by 20% of both of these, which is the golden gun and the arc staff. The spectral blades are getting an increase by 35%, and gathering storm is getting some other increases to the damage as well. The Titan, the Fist of Havoc, is getting a reduction to its cost. Glacial Quake is getting an increase to its speed.
Okay.
The Sentinel Shield is getting an increase to its damage by 20%. The Hammer of Soul is getting an increase of 10%. And Burning Maul is also getting an increase of 10%. For Warlock, Nova Warp will be getting an increase of damage by 15%. And Nova Bomb will also be getting an increase by 20%. So he's going to do it. Oh, that's going to be fun for me.
That's what we want to see.
For Stormcaller, Storm Trance will be getting an increase of 25%, and Chaos Reach will also be getting a damage of 25%. Strand's getting a bunch of tuning, but we went through them in the last stream, so you'd have to refer to that. Stasis is also getting a tune. This you can read all this on the TWAB. So this list just goes on and on and on. So I'm just trying to pull the main things out of it.
Get the stuff we need.
Looks like there's going to be some changes to some of the grenades as well for Warlock. I'm not going to go into it because, like I say, this list is just massive. As far as I could see, those are the main things. But like I say, if you want to actually read the top for yourself, it is on Bungie.net in the news. So
awesome. For the majority of it, they're buffing every super for PvE damage. That's what I got from it that I read a bit.
Yeah, I don't see any buffs for Gambit and
Crucible.
Crucible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is mainly just going to be a PvE tune update, really.
Yeah, and it seems like they're doing a much bigger buff for roaming supers, because a lot of the times you would opt for a DPS super, especially in raids. So they're trying to give the roaming supers a little more love. Maybe they see a little bit more playtime. When you're just running around different activities, it gives more variety to the game in that sense. So it'll be fun to try everything out. The one I'm really curious about is to see if they finally fix it. I was always irritated with the Titan's stasis melee, because it would never hit register on anything. And by the time I would use my melee to crack a stasis wall to try and throw shards at enemies, I could have just shot him or punched him at that point. So that's why I'm hoping they actually change, but I'm not sure they did anything to that.
Yeah, Stasis never seems to get a great deal of love, really. When I remember we first used it in Beyond Light, when we got it with the 4K 60, it was fun, it was good, and then it just seemed literally, what was it, a couple of weeks after they just started nerfing things, and it just wasn't enjoyable class to use. It's the only time I would use Stasis if I had to go when and doing the your Vanguard ops, your weeklies, if it was the burn and you'd have to use it. That was the only time I ever used Stasis. So, I like Strand. Strand's a good subclass. It's a bit different, a bit fresh. But Titan, when I last played, I think it's Arc. Arc is really, really good. I just love flying through the air and you just come crashing down, and electricity just like sparks out, kills a load of them, and then you punch them. And if you've got is it the boot? Is it the transference boots for the Titan, or was that Warlock? The ones where it also, like, if you punch them, it like chains lightning to multiple enemies that are around you. The boots that make you run faster. I can't remember the name of them.
Doom Marchers are the boots for the Titan.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. The transference ones were they were Warlock, but yeah, because you get that extra speed, and when you're mixing it with Arc, it's just it's just magic, absolute magic. But yeah, guys, we'll call it a night there. It's been a good show. I've enjoyed it. It's been fun. Back from the Dead, do you want to tell everyone where they can find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitch, where I'm trying to get back into streaming more regularly. I'll stream whatever I'm playing, from Destiny 2 to playing Redfall and Jedi Survivor on stream a bit. And might even stream some Marvel Midnight Suns. I've been getting into that. That's been a lot of fun. And then over on YouTube, that's where I put up my edited content. I got some different Destiny videos up on there. Anything from how to solo different Legend Lost sectors to, ironically, one of my most viewed videos at this point is how to turn the injection rig public event heroic. So I actually went through one night and created very short videos on every single heroic how to turn every single public event heroic. And I've got a handful of other videos up there, and apparently people don't know how to use the menu in Destiny. I actually made a video on that, and that video is almost up to 250 views.
Nice.
So I actually got to go back up and edit that with the way that they've changed the menu for this season.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of content there for Destiny 2, and then also I've got a review up for Resident Evil 4 Remake. It's a lot of fun. They definitely made a huge number of improvements to that. But yeah, and then also you can find me on Twitter, all three of those, on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. You can find me at Back from the Dead 1. On Xbox Live and PSN, you can find me at Back from Dead 1.
Awesome. Brilliant. Yeah, if you're not following this fine gentleman, obviously his Twitter handle is just below his name on screen now. And obviously you can find him at all the places he said. Add him to Xbox, add him to PlayStation. It's always fun to play games together. Yeah, I think I saw you yesterday or day before playing on Twitch, playing a bit of Redfall. That's a game. It's not fun. It's not fun on your own. I tried playing it on my own. I really, really didn't enjoy it. But
I've actually been having a lot of fun with it on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I keep looking over my shoulder. I tried playing it with Retry, Dreadful, and somebody else. They blanking who the fourth person was there. We had 4 people playing together last night, and I actually enjoyed it. It's fun to play with people, but we probably had to bump the difficulty up again, because I would turn around, and unless you've got like a massive boss that's just chugging through people and knocking them over,
yeah,
we're just fighting trash heads. I would turn around and before I fire off 1 or 2 shots, you got 3 of us that are opening up on a dude. It's like,
yeah.
I mean, we even set off we joked about it. We set off a car alarm, and one guy comes around the corner to check the car. It's like you got 4 people who just lit them up in 2 seconds. So I mean, if you're playing, like I said, it's a little bit more intense to play solo, especially because I'm only playing on dust difficulty. Versus if I bumped it up to midnight, be a different experience. Where
yeah.
Sometimes I'll die, but for the most part, I'm just having fun playing through the story. So yeah, I mean, it's got its bugs and glitches, just like Jedi Survivor and a lot of other games recently. But I'm enjoying it for what it is.
Oh, good. Yeah, I enjoy it as playing with friends. It's more just of a laugh because I think we played not yesterday, night before, and I was running about. But to me, I was running normally, but everyone else could see me on the screen. Half my body was in the floor, and it didn't matter if I was going upstairs or anything. I was just half in the floor, and I'd gone upstairs in a room, and someone was with me, and my legs were just dangling through the floor. It was strange, very strange, but it's fun. It's all right. It's got a lot of issues, a lot of problems, but it was fun. It was fun in the end. Maz, do you want to tell everyone where they can find you, sir? Maz.
When he gets his mic on mute.
Oh, Maz.
He gets there eventually.
Yeah, by the way.
Joe, tell everyone where they can find you.
Man, I don't know what it is. I think my internet's been a bit blue today. They can find me on Twitter at James W. Sarge. They can also find me on Twitch because I just made my Twitch channel back up, which is my gamer tag, which is the same as my tag on here right now. And also YouTube is the exact same. I'll be streaming soon on that.
Destiny by any chance?
Yes, Destiny, maybe some other games, but mostly Destiny.
Good. And Shadowmore, want to tell everyone where they can find you?
Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, most social places, so all under the same handle.
Awesome. And that will do. Again, thank you, Back from the Dead, for joining us. It's been awesome to have you on and getting a history of Destiny with you. It's been very interesting, and definitely be checking out some more of your content.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Oh, very welcome. Right, guys, that's it. Take care, and we will see you on the PSN Party Podcast at 8:30 p.m. BST on Wednesday. Good night, all.
Bye.